his head. Life's really boring, reality sucks. I need a new toy but got no bucks. In my horror, acting constantly dead. In my horror, I see the monsters under my bed. In my horror, it's the best.
Here's your host, Daddyman.
Hey there, Kitchen Mutants. It is Friday night. I am your favorite Daddyman in the kitchen. That can only mean one thing. That's right. It is time once again for Mutant Cafe this week live. Once again, we are live this week and we are celebrating the Mutant Labor Day Marathon. This is the pre-party for the marathon that is happening on Wednesday, 12 amazing Labor Day horror movies, or excuse me, 6 amazing Labor Day horror movies, 12 hours of horror from 2 o'clock Eastern time until 2 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. That is Monday. So we are celebrating today. We are going to be making Daddyman's 36-hour ribs. And full disclosure, these are Daddyman's ribs. My father's ribs, actually. This is kind of taking a little space. He's made ribs for years and years and years. I'm going to make ribs the same style, or excuse me, the same method, slightly different ingredients and a few little tweaks here and there. But so we're going to do that live. We're also going to hang out with, I got a Zoom set up, and we're going to hang out with, I got a Zoom. Mute that. All right, I've got a Zoom going. We're going to be connecting with, let's get this up to full screen. There we go. We're going to be connecting with the crew from the Mutant Labor Day Marathon, which would be myself, obviously, Chris from Mutant Theater. We've got Frank from MutantFam.com. We've got the gang over at Monster Movie Happy Hour, Dave, Scott, and Mary. Least of all, Mary. I think she's going to be joining in at some point. She's a busy lady. She's got lambs. She's got a new house. She's got all kinds of things going on. Then we also have Evan from Lurking Transmission and Ritual Light and Sound. And we've got Matt from the Killer Horror Critic. Not everybody's going to be here tonight, but those are the participants for the Mutant Labor Day Marathon. So we're doing a lot of different things. It's weird, you can see me here and you can see me there. Eventually there's going to be other faces there, hopefully. Let's get rid of that. So we are going to make the ribs. We're not going to make the ribs per se tonight in real time. So for those of you that usually cook along with me and make your dinner tonight, you're not going to be doing that. I am going to tell you how to do, because it's 36 hours, obviously. I am going to show you how to do the dry rub. I'm going to show you how to do the barbecue sauce, and then I'm going to show you each steps of the process to get the ribs to where they need to be on the grill throughout the 36 hours. And I'm going to do that with swap outs. So you won't be actually cooking with me. You will be getting some stuff ready. And I'm going to give you a timeline. I wrote it down so I didn't have to sit here and try to do it in my head, which you all know never works, on when to start. If you would like to have your ribs ready at 6:30 Eastern time, which is immediately after Monster Movie Happy Hours movie, which is Mayhem, the last drive-in edition. So after Joe Bob and Darcy, your ribs will be ready. Okay? So how this is going to go. Just here. All right, we're doing good. So as we always do, let's hit those ingredients first, and then we will get started, at least with this part, and I'll get the ribs going. All right, so what you're going to need, now this is for the dry rub. The dry rub makes, oh, by the way, we're also going to have a Monster Movie Happy Hour cocktail. They posted it earlier. Hopefully you got the ingredients, as I did, even though I'm starting with a beer, because I'm going to make the drink live with them later. And if they can't jump in, I'll do it. I've got the ingredients. Okay, so let's start with this. This dry rub makes a ton. It makes plenty for the 2 rib racks you're gonna do tonight. It'll probably do another 2, 3, maybe even 4, depending on how heavy you go with the dry rub. So 2 tablespoons each of, I don't know if you can, yeah, I guess you can kind of see that. 2 tablespoons each of, we've got lemon pepper, Himalayan sea salt, we've got celery salt, we've got thyme, we've got light brown sugar. You could use dark, but dark has more molasses in it, so it's going to burn. It's going to cause more burning. So I would go light, although it is going to, toast up. We've got onion powder. We've got smoked paprika. We've got the Italian little pepper flakes. We've got coarse ground black pepper, cumin, the British, or excuse me, English yellow mustard, dried mustard, and I already did the smoked paprika. So that is your dry rub. You're going to need 2 big onions. I use the sweet Vidalia. I've said that a million times, so you probably know that. 2 cloves of garlic. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder here. You're going to need 7 tablespoons of brown sugar. Again, go with the light. Lemon. You're going to need, I got it written down. I thought I knew all these. 1/2 cup, I want to say. I know that's, apologize, 1 second here. 1/2 cup, yep, of cider, apple cider vinegar, and 2 cups of ketchup. Ketchup has all kinds of things in it, like Worcestershire sauce and different herbs and spices already. So this is a little bit of a cheat. You don't have to spend too much time. You're already doing a dry rub. So, but you could definitely use tomato paste, Worcestershire sauce, some garlic, and a couple extra little things like that, and replace the ketchup. But just use the ketchup. All right, so this bowl here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, gotcha. Sorry about that. So we're gonna take all the dry spices into 1 big giant bowl. So you could also double this up, by the way. That's a lot. Like I said, this is gonna make a ton. The nice thing is all the extra is just gonna go in a jar, and you're gonna have your own little spice rub. And if you don't like something, let's say you don't like thyme, then put in the rosemary. If you really like a sweeter barbecue taste in your ribs, go ahead and use a little more the brown sugar, or a little less. If you don't want it quite as hot, drop out the red pepper flakes. A little less salt if you want to go a little less salt. This definitely has some salt in it, and don't forget that the pork is salty. If you're using a beef, this is probably perfect. So you could definitely cut out a little bit of the salt if you're trying to watch the salt. All I'm doing is combining this up, using my fingers to kind of get that brown sugar, if it's clumped up, unclumped. Just get this nice clumped up. All right, so the first thing you're going to do with your ribs, by the way, get your oven going at about 250, which is almost as low as it'll go. Now, the first 6 hours of your 36-hour ribs is defrosting. All right, so I'm gonna grab those in 1 second and explain to you what I've done. All right, get the dry rub all nice and mixed together. Super easy. You know what, before I do that, let me just start the barbecue sauce, because the longer the barbecue sauce cooks, the better it is. All right, so there's your dry rub. Barbecue sauce, everything into a small pan, medium pan maybe. There we go. Ketchup. Medium heat. Cider vinegar. Brown sugar. Again, cut down the brown sugar if you don't want it quite as sweet. Not a problem. onion powder. We're gonna go about a third of this lemon. We'll get back to the lemon in a second. 2 garlic cloves. Waste pan out here. Super fresh hard-neck garlic. Means it's going to be extra spicy, so I'm just going to do 1 big garlic clove. Purple ones are a little bit spicier. Crush it up. I've done this before. And pretty small. Don't want to take a big bite of garlic with the ribs. And again, you can minimally cook this for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But so if you're doing that, you definitely don't want to get a giant chunk of garlic, and you want it to kind of distribute quicker throughout the sauce. So the smaller it is, the more surface area you're hitting, blah, blah, blah. All right? All right, in the pan. If you'd like a little bit of salt and pepper, I'm going to omit, because I think the ribs are going to be salty enough as it is with the dry rub and with the pork. Again, if you're using beef, a little bit of salt doesn't hurt. All right. Let's give that a stir. All right, it's Friday Night Frights. Mutant Labor Day. Did Memorial Day. Did Independence Day. Now we're doing the Labor Day. 3 big marathons this summer, because we know y'all aren't able to go to the big parties that you normally would be going to right now. All right, we're just gonna let that simmer. I'm gonna go grab the first ribs. It's out of the way. All right, this is your defrosting stage of ribs. All right, so you pull them out of the package. You get them really, really tamped down well with a big clump of paper towels. We've talked about drying the meat out. It gives you a nice sear, a nice crust on any kind of meat, the drier it is. Thank you, Julia Child. All right. So what I did with this, about 6 hours ago, it was frozen, but you know, ribs are not that thick, so it doesn't take that long to defrost. Took a little bit of kosher salt, sprinkled it on really well, wrapped it in paper towels, put it in the fridge, and that was 6 hours ago, okay? So if you are doing this on Sunday and you want to eat at 6:30 Eastern time, right after Joe Bob, right before disturbing behavior, get this trimmed down. There we go. You are going to want to start this defrosting process that I'm talking about that's already been done at 6 a.m. on Sunday, okay? That's going to have it ready at 6 p.m. on Monday evening, 6:30-ish. Okay, so you're going to have to change those paper towels over the 6 hours. Probably an hour or two in, you're going to have to change the paper towels because they're going to be soaked, and you want to put more dry paper towels on there. What you're doing is you're taking a little bit of the moisture out, because then it's going to absorb that the spice rub a little better. You're going to brush it with sauce. It's going to get nice and juicy. It's going to stay nice and juicy. But if you can pull just a little bit of that salt out, the salt's also helping defrost it. It's soaking back up that water. It tenderizes the meat just slightly. It's a good process. So I've already done that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 6 hours into it now. We are now 6 hours into the process, and you've had the ribs, like I said, paper towel wrapped. Right, and it's completely defrosted and it's super, super dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about a quarter to start. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the ribs. I should have showed you, I'm sorry, before I did this. There's two different, there's a top part that was all pink like you saw in this one. I'll show you the back in a second. This is all the meat, a little bit of fat. Don't worry about the white parts, that is fat. Your ribs need the fat. It kind of bastes the ribs as they're cooking. Keeps them nice and juicy. Just like bacon, it's the same animal, so it has the same properties. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna rub this in really well. Really, really coat every little part of the ribs. On the side, get that fat as well. If you're brushing some off to the side like I am, don't worry about it. That's exactly what you want, because we're going to use that on the back end. Now I don't have to put my raw meat hands into that. Should get enough now. There we go. Keep rubbing. If there's like a little crease like you got right here, right, that was a fold over, which is okay because this is too thin and this would kind of dry out. So you're going to leave it folded over, but go ahead and get some of that dry rub in there. Maybe not as much because it is folded, so it's got two surfaces with the dry rub on it. Get it all rubbed in, close it back up. All right, so now that's the front side with the majority of the meat. This is now the back side. You've got the piece that kind of holds the ribs together, right, which is going to kind of melt away as you're cooking. You got some meat up here, so just take some of this dry rub, the bottom of the pan, kind of hit that meat. All the way down here, you've got meat. There's even a little bit down here. You might as well go ahead and hit that too. It's not going to stick to the silver part. Just get this rubbed. Really well coated. Make sure you're getting the sides. Okay, get that flip back over. This end right here that doesn't have the ribs at the bottom, you can kind of tuck that over as well. Fit the pan a little better for now. All right, so I'm gonna rinse my hands off. Hey, Hans, we got any questions in the chat room? No? Okay. Y'all are following along. Keep stirring your barbecue sauce. So yeah, for those of you that like to cook along, you pretty much have done everything that you're gonna do. Keep stirring your sauce. Have a cocktail. It's a little break. It's a holiday, right? Nice thing about this is there's a lot of processes, but they're all pretty quick. Wrapping it up in the paper towel, super quick. This, super quick. That, easy. So what's gonna happen now is these are going in the refrigerator. You can lightly put a little bit of paper towel on it if you'd like. They're going in the refrigerator literally for 24 hours. No joke. So you're already 30 hours into Daddyman's 36-hour ribs. See how easy that was?
Jeremy wants to know what the TV's for. He came in late.
Oh, we're going to hopefully have some of the group from the Mutant Labor Day Marathon with us to chat up the marathon. Maybe, maybe not. All right, so these are going in for, like I said, 24 hours. And what you're gonna get are these delicious bad boys. They look like after 24 hours. You can see it's soaked up most of all those different herbs and spices. It's definitely feels a little more tender. There's very little herbs and spices hanging out. It's all kind of soaked into the meat, both sides. Okay, so we're gonna push this to the side because there's a big trick to the next part. All right, so again, sorry about that. Get that fridge closed. We are 30 hours into the process. Your spice rub has been in for 24 hours. So if you are doing this for, again, 6:30 on Monday, right after Joe Bob, you are looking at about 2 o'clock, or excuse me, noon on Monday. You started this Sunday morning. So now it's noon on Monday. And you really haven't done much. And honestly, you're really not going to do a ton now. You're going to take Vidalia onions. You don't have to worry about the skins. They're the loose skins. Go ahead and pull off, you know, the ones that kind of rub off. But the tighter layer that's like right above the good stuff, don't worry about it. Go ahead and cut the end off. Now, you have to be very careful. Generally, what you're supposed to do is take that cut side and put it down. Just cut a tiny little piece off your onion. I don't know why I keep looking up in my microwave. Cut a little tiny piece off your onion. So what that's going to do is now you can put it flat on that tiny piece and it's not going to rock and roll on you while you're cutting. And you're going to cut, these are good sized Vidalia onions. I would go, you know, large, not extra large, but large. You're going to cut this into about 3 or 4 chunks. All right, 1. So really, really thick. All right, get rid of the end that has the roots on it that keeps it together. All right, and do the same thing with this one. Take that end off very carefully. All right, cut a little nick in it. Go flat, core ends here. The end you cut off is here. And again, 3 or 4 big, thick pieces. All right, and the core end. Any of the skin comes off, go ahead and pull it off. So what we're gonna do, oops, put that in there. We're gonna take these ribs. And we are going to move the beer. We're going to top these Vidalia onions up under the ribs. This is going to do 2 different things. Excuse me. It's going to allow the air to circulate underneath these ribs so that hot air in your oven, make sure they're pretty tight, is going to be able to hit not only on the top of the ribs, but also underneath the ribs. All right. It's going to give it a nice, even cooking. All right, there we go. Just get your onions nice and tucked under there. Now, the second benefit of this, and to me, obviously the most important benefit, this is, like I said, same animal as a bacon, or as bacon, a pig. So it's got amazing fat, just like bacon. So why waste that fat? What's going to happen is if you cooked it, we're going to go slow and low. Again, we're going like 250 degrees. You're going to go for 6 hours in the oven. So that is super, super slow. These are going to roast. And what's going to happen is all that fat, the white parts that you saw here, the white part on the underneath, it's going to slowly dissolve. And instead of going in just a big empty baking sheet, which by the way is covered in tinfoil, it is going to cover these onions. So these onions are going to slow roast basically in bacon fat that you've now covered with like a dry barbecue rub. Okay? See where I'm going with that? Mm-hmm. Figured you did. So, this is, what did I say, Monday at noon. You are now going to put these in the oven, 250 degrees, 6 hours. Set that timer for 6 o'clock Eastern time. All the times I'm doing Eastern time. I'm Central time. I probably should stand up for my time zone.
Jared said that onions are great on a burger the next day.
There you go. Jared said that?
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed, Wayne. It's kind of like when you make a pork roast, you know, in the crock pot or in the oven. Same thing. That's why you got those onions in there. Yum. All right. Quickly, let's take a break. I want to thank Lurking Transmission. They sent this awesome mixtape on cassette. Thank you very much. I'm a little afraid to play it. I don't know what that would summon. They also sent me, I wrote the note on this because he was very specific. And again, with Evan over there at Lurking Transmission, I'm not messing around because who knows what it's going to bring upon me. This is a last words pendant, which is filled with grave dirt. Awesome. And it has a hand-drawn scroll from my absolute favorite Stephen King book from, you know, decades ago when I read it. It is the last words of Georgie, excuse me, and it says, "Do they float?" in the bottle. Super cool. Thank you. As I promised before on other episodes, if anybody wants to send anything horror related, it's going up on the set. And we decided this is going right here front and center. And he also, by the way, sent me the t-shirt that I'm wearing today. And you can get this t-shirt through his Patreon. And I believe he also has a link that you can buy it, or I think if there's a Patreon level that you get it for free. So check out his Patreon. It's Lurking Transmission, and it's at Real Sonic Danger. There you go. Plug.
Shout out.
What's that?
Thanks for the shout out.
You're welcome, Evan. Evan is also one of the sponsors of the Mutant Labor Day Marathon. He is, you know, we might as well start hitting these movies. Let's hit them. Mutant Labor Day. This is the pre-show for Mutant Labor Day. 12 hours of horror movies, 2 o'clock Eastern until 2 o'clock a.m. Eastern, Tuesday morning, excuse me. Starts on Monday in the afternoon. So we are starting at 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is 11 o'clock Pacific time. Killer Horror Critic is sponsoring Brutal Massacre, and that is streaming on Prime. It is a comedy about a director making a horror movie, and Matt over there at Killer Horror Critic said this movie has a list of cameos that has to be seen to be believed. Yeah, let's say that right. All right, so I have not seen it. I, believe it or not, have not seen 2, I think, of the movies that we're showing on this marathon. We all talked as a collective, and I think we wanted to go a little deeper cut this time, and I think we've achieved that because, you know, there's some really good stuff. Like at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 11 o'clock Pacific time, I've already referenced it. We are watching The Last Drive-In, Joe, Bob, and Darcy, Mayhem. Nothing says labor like killing your coworkers. A lot of them. Very bloody ways. So we're watching Mayhem, The Last Drive-In with Joe, Bob, and Darcy. That is 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock, Pacific time. And that is the Monster Movie Happy Hour. And speaking of the Monster Movie Happy Hour, since we're starting to run out of time, since we're running out of time, I'm going to do the cocktail. They announced it earlier this morning, or late, actually. All right, filled with ice. I doubled this up, as I always do. So 1 ounce of gin, dry. 1 ounce of light rum. 1 I'm sorry, that was a triple sec. 1 ounce of rum. I'm using that black strap rum. They said light. Mine is not light. It's dark, so it's going to taste slightly different. Oops. Yeah. Hot sauce. 1 big dash of hot sauce. I love an episode where I'm just off screen all the time, and I like it. It's almost maybe a little dark and stormy-ish, the hot sauce. And maraschino cherries are going in. Lemon juice. 1/2 ounce. So I'm going to guess. Sure. 1/2 ounce. Shake it up till it's cold. And this sauce just keeps going. It's already cooking down. Just about done. I mean, again, you could cook this thing for the 6 hours that those ribs are sitting in there. Feel free. Low heat. Maybe pull that pan halfway off. All right, shake it up.
What kind of hot sauce it is?
Louisiana hot sauce. That's all it says. That's pretty generic. It's the original Louisiana hot sauce. I'm sure it is. Copyright, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we're going to pour this in. This is, I didn't say, the Little Pink Devil. Oh, yeah, Friday Night Frights, duh. I've been talking about the marathon. It is Friday Night Frights. It's the pre-show. Coming up next, we got 8 o'clock for Mutant Theater. We've got Satanic Panic. Top these with some cherries. Bloop. Maraschino cherries. Mine's a little dark. I guess mine's a little dark pink devil. Anyhow, cheers. Oh, yep, that's got a kick. Maybe a little less Tabasco than what I used. All right, so keep on track. 8 o'clock, we've got Satanic Panic, which is on Prime from Mutant Theater. 10 o'clock, we've got Joan fucking Collins is in, where are my notes? There we go. The Devil Within Her, Last Minute Change, Not Rosemary's Baby, 8 o'clock. 10 o'clock on Prime, Mutant Theater, The Devil Within Her, and then again, as always, mutantfam.com, DJ Frank, Midnight Marathon, and the links are in all the posts that we're posting tonight. So that is Friday Night Frights. Whew, that's really good. That is, tonight is we made a mistake about labor. We didn't understand what Labor Day assignment was. We picked pregnancy. So we're having them tonight, not in the marathon. I'm totally kidding. We know what Labor Day means. Play along, folks. Any questions, Tom?
No.
All right. Ooh, that's hot. Another movie from the marathon. 4:30, because Joe Bob is 2.5 hours long, so we get a little off track. 4:30 Eastern time. Excuse me, 6:30 Eastern time, 3:30 Pacific time. We hit the fun, cheesy 90s entry of the marathon. We had I Know What You Did Last Summer. We had I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and we're not going to make you watch I Always Did Know What You Did Last Summer. Thank you, Frank. We are jumping over to the awesome 90s film Disturbing Behavior on Prime, and that is that's one of Hub's favorites. Hub likes the 90s. That's from mutantfam.com. That's from Frank, Mutant Marathon DJ. Awesome movie. Katie Holmes. What's his name?
James Marsden.
James Marsden. Thank you. It's good. It's 90s good. So, and then very, very short break after that movie to catch us back up onto our even times. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Our film, it is a slasher. It is a fall break slasher. I will be singing the song for the rest of the weekend as I've been singing it all this week. Fall break, fall. Yeah, that song. We're watching The Mutilator on Shudder. It's an awesome, awesome slasher. It's very strange. It's got Joe Bob written all over it. It's on that list, I think, that Darcy has us vote on all the time for possible movies. It's a great movie. You are all going to love it. It starts a very, very strange evening. in a kind of a light, fun way. The next two are crazy. But first, it's been 6 hours and we're gonna pull those ribs out. Man, is this good. I like that spice. All right, let's get this down so we don't burn the table. I'm gonna show you these ribs. So we're now at about 36 hours. You may want to check these after like 4 hours, make sure they're not getting too done. But these are, oh, look at that. So essentially, y'all, these are cooked. All right. Let me get a fork here. See, the ribs are completely pulling away from the bone. They're all the way cooked through. They're shredding right off there. But we're not done with them. I'm going to take a bite, though. That. Oh. Well, I didn't want to take that giant piece off. Ruin the look of the whole rib. Mm. Really good. Take your barbecue sauce. Oh, by the way, check out these onions. Where'd that pork go? Mmm. You see that? Yum. That's like French onion soup onions under there. Look at that. Delicious. All right, so we're gonna hit this with the barbecue sauce. I'm gonna hit my stomach with this little spicy cocktail. You should have your grill going, about medium high. Take this barbecue sauce and we're just gonna really liberally brush this up. And what's gonna happen now is all these herbs and spices that are kind of still left on the top, there's a nice little kind of almost crunchy coating on these ribs. I'm gonna start soaking in this barbecue sauce. And again, this barbecue sauce makes enough for at least 2, maybe 3 batches. Plenty for dipping. That. Get it nice and coated. Take your time. Put a little bit of this in a bowl. Take it out of the grill with you. Because all we're gonna do is we're gonna stick this on the grill for like 10, maybe 15 minutes. Because really all you wanna do is just kind of get that barbecue sauce sticky and starting to kind of suck up those herbs a little bit, enhance the barbecue sauce. We used a lot of the same flavors, don't forget. That's on purpose because they're gonna play really well together. All right. Get them wet. You don't want to dry. You're gonna hit that grill. All right, there we go. All right, I'm gonna pass these off to hubs for the grill. Right on. Keep this broiling. Don't put that in there. Keep that boiling away. Get some stuff out of the way. So again, don't forget, you got all this. Get a nice jar, airtight. This is gonna last you, a month or 2, depending on how much grilling you do. Got your own little spice rub. And again, you can change it to whatever you like. You don't like the lemon pepper, just leave it out. If you want some garlic powder instead of onion powder, feel free. Whatever you like. Okay? Your spice rub. And that goes with this barbecue sauce. I love to, right about now, before I do the ribs, not right about now, but right about 10 minutes ago, big old glop of the grainy mustard in there. And you got a little South Carolina style barbecue sauce. There's your, see, mix a ton. I don't know why I keep going up there. So you Twitter, whatever. There you go. All right, so those are going on the grill. You really don't have to even pay attention to them. You be getting your plates ready, getting your sides ready, wash it onto the platter. Cleaning up. Oh, the last two movies. Monday, 10 o'clock, Body Count on Prime. That is Lurking Transmission and a Ritual Light and Sounds flick for the marathon. And we have come to expect nothing but the WTFiest, creepiest, weirdest picks from Lurking Transmission. And he's saying he did it again. We got Hess. We got Native Americans. We got, what else did he say? Boobs. Lots of boobs, he said, which, of course, I mean, wouldn't be a horror movie or a marathon without boobs. So he claims it is trippy AF. It's another one I have not seen. We're going deep, deep, deep in this one. And then we're wrapping it up in the spot that Evan usually has. I have to say, Evan, you know, you may have gotten a little you lost in the marathon this year because we're given the creepy midnight Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific time. The late night flick is going to Mutant Theater this year with Extra, which is a 1980s movie about a lady who gives birth to a full-grown man who's also an alien, I think. And it's British, I think. And it's only available on YouTube. So if that says anything, because, you know, some of those streaming services carry just about anything. But I trust Chris. He has great taste in flicks. That orange, blue people movie that I still haven't been able to see. The bane of my existence. Chris, what is it? Hubs. Anyhow. Wrapping up with Extra. So that's the 12 hours. Once again, I'm only going to do Eastern time. 2 o'clock Eastern Killer Horror is Brutal Massacre. 4 o'clock Eastern Mayhem, the last drive-in version, Monster Movie Happy Hour. 6:30 Eastern Disturbing Behavior on Prime, mutantfam.com. Mayhem, by the way, is on Shudder. Y'all know that. Very small break. 8 o'clock Eastern time. We have... did I say Disturbing Behavior? Disturbing Behavior at, yeah, I did. 8 o'clock Eastern time, The Mutilator, me, on Shudder. 10 o'clock Eastern, Body Count on Prime. That's Lurking Transmission and Ritual Light and Sound. And at midnight, Extra on Prime. No, I wrote down on Prime. It might be on Prime or YouTube. Mutant Theater. I apologize. Even when I write stuff down, I'm a mess. So it's almost 6:30. Those ribs are about ready to come off the grill. Let's check them out. Give you a little bit of time because it is Friday Night Frights Labor Day pre-show. Mutant Labor Day pre-show, excuse me. It's all labor flicks tonight, folks. Crazy babies, Satan babies. We got 8 o'clock. We are doing, just flew out of my head. Rebecca Romaine, Jerry O'Connell, Satanic Panic, the recent Satanic Panic movie. Awesome. And then there's your ribs, y'all. Let's get some of these onions down first. Ouch. Hot. Beautiful. Bacony onions. All right. And this nice big slab of ribs that isn't going to fit on that tiny little plate. Cut right back down the center again. We'll do 2. There we go. And yes, I'm licking my fingers. Stuff's too good not to. There you go. 1 rib. And 2 ribs. Oh. Sorry, Evan. This is a one episode, Evan. It's like in the chat room, I'm sure, like squirming. Evan's a baby. There we go. Yeah. I don't know what I do with it. Well, here we go. Let's grab this, give it a little more sauce. And you did it in less than, as I normally say, you did it in 36 hours, maybe just a little bit over, a little bit under, depending on your oven. Yum. Get nice and wet. There you go. That is Daddyman's, or Daddyman's Daddy's 36-hour ribs. Sounds like a lot. Just a few short and simple steps. Get this out of the way. It makes all the difference in the world. It gets super dry when you do it, where you just throw it right on the grill and you cook the whole thing for like however long you cook it, and it's always overdone and dry. If you go this way, it stays so juicy and delicious. I think you're gonna love it. Give it a try. See you in the tweets tonight for Friday Night Frights, Satanic Panic, and she thinks something's inside her, something like that. Joe Collins. Joe Collins, you hear him? Joe Collins. And then the Midnight Marathon at midnight. Make sure you check out this amazing little drink from the Monster Movie Happy Hour. I moved my cards, the pink little devil. Mine was a dark pink little devil. Enjoy that, and we'll see you Monday at 2 o'clock Eastern time, all the way until 2 o'clock a.m. Tuesday morning. I know you got to work the next day. Don't worry, it's totally worth it. Jump in for some, jump in for all, jump in for whatever you can. It's always, always worth it. Trust me. Sorry we didn't have any guests on tonight. Things are crazy. Mary's buying a house. There's all kinds of crazy things. Frank's got like a lizard now and some weird little thing that hangs out in a hammock that he's taking care of. We got a dog. Everybody's got stuff going on. It is summer. It's Labor Day. We're trying to get that last little bit of summer in. Don't forget Mutant Cafe, October. We're doing breakfast after dark. I've got 3 really super fun recipes for breakfast, going a little different than what we're taking some of those classics and trying to playfully make them a little more kid-like. Okay, so get your pajamas out, get your footy pajamas. Then we got that going on. We also got a Joe Bob special going on in October. And Friday Night Frights has 3, because we have the Joe Bob special coming in October. 3 amazing themes. 4, I'm sorry, there are actually 4 Fridays in October. We have 4 amazing themes to go along with that Joe Bob special. So you will not be bored this Halloween. On Fridays, don't forget about Killer Saturday from the Killer Horror Critic. They are watching Mandy tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern. And then the surprise movie after that. Don't forget about Killer Sunday from the mutantfam.com. They are watching one of my really, really absolute favorites, because you all know I like 70s horror. They are watching the original My Bloody Valentine. That's a working hero right there, right? And then we'll see you on Monday. Don't forget. So much to not forget. This is a full weekend, y'all. You know you got to stay inside. It's a holiday. Celebrate inside. Make these ribs. Make some sides. Show me what you're making. Show me the ribs that you make. I want to see them. Tweet me if you have any questions. Thank you so much for being here. We did it 36 hours in 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I love being live. I miss you guys. I appreciate y'all watching. The next 3 are taped. I'm sorry. But we will see you in the tweets for the movies. Satanic Panic in about minutes. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Oh, I got a little here. Ooh, hold on. I got an extra because we're professional. Is this on? No. Yeah, super profesh. Is it on? Yeah, super profesh. Is it on? Yeah, super profesh. There we go. So professional. So professional. Bye, y'all.